Okay, so thank you for inviting me to talk today. As you can see, I'm barely moving, so bear with me. You know, as they say, as you're pregnant, your memory is not the best. So I will start by saying thank you to Ranan office by first inviting me to talk and also supporting in what I will talk about today. I really appreciate that. It's from day zero that I'm at the university, and it's really amazing. I will talk today actually not on my research so much, but more about other involvements that I have in campus in Israel and worldwide related to education for sustainable development in practice. I will just start with one slide on what I do on the research side because I think it might be interesting, you know, always for future collaboration. So I'm heading the Innovation in Industrial Ecology lab here at the university. We're basically taking systems approach for sustainability questions from production to consumption, trying to understand environmental, economic, and social impacts of different product systems, services, innovation, new product, diffusions of new technologies on the consumer side, on the business side. I have a large group of 12 students and research assistants, and I work extensively with both industry and government on different projects because this is a very practical at the end. You know, we have the theoretic part, but at the end, I always try to encourage Israeli case studies and really diffusion of this type of thinking here in Israel. The challenge of sustainability is something that is going on for a while now. You know, some countries are more advanced, some countries are a bit slower on this, but basically society now invests a lot of resources in trying to find ways to promote and get to paths for sustainability, and we are, you know, concerned with asking ourselves how to reduce environmental impact while maintaining economic growth, activity, and prosperity. And there are different ways to do it. You know, from my research side, we usually talk about things like cleaner production and sustainable consumption and all kinds of measures like resource efficiency, energy efficiency, design for the environment, all those kind of concepts, they can all bring us maybe to a bit more sustainable life. But I think the issue of sustainable development, which is all connecting to, is something that is in the heart of everything that we try to do. And all of the work I was talking until now about also have very different way of thinking when you talk about more developed or less developed countries. And it's an amazing topic in my perspective. And what I want to talk about today is more of the practice side on how to actually engage students and young professionals in thinking about those issues and actually go and implement and use the skills that they learn in the different programs to apply those in a more needed areas. I want to start, I will talk about Engineers Without Borders, which is an international organization, and I claim from the beginning there is also EWB in India, and I will talk about it at the end, but I will focus today more a bit about what we do here in Israel. I just wanted to start from my little personal journey in the early 2000s, and when I was a master's student in California, I saw this little sign on a door in UC Santa Barbara saying, oh, the first meeting of the year for Engineers Without Borders will take place in room ta-ta-ta. And I came home back and I told my husband, wow, I must go there. It seems so, like, you know, I had this light in my eyes. And he was like, okay, so go and see. And I went to the first meeting, and since then I'm hooked. You know, I started as a student member. I became a chapter head. Then I managed a 5 years project in Peru. Then I moved back to Israel and started, you know, here with EWB Israel and in Tel Aviv University. And it's been a long way serving on the international board. So for me, this is something very, you know, it's beside the rest. It's all connected for me. It's not connected from what I do in academia, and I see it as a very important thing. So we believe that big impact starts with small steps. We, you know, think about what Aliza said. You know, I remember being in Peru in 2007. Barely any latrines, but everyone has cell phones already, right? So this extreme between, you know, our technology, new technology, do this frog leap, while the basics are still so behind, you know, strike me. In EWB International, what we try to do is to basically work with small communities to help them help themselves and improve the quality of their life, while we bring the students and the professionals that volunteer with the organization some added value for their future what they can do with the skills that they get, how they can bring back to society, and say, say something different at the end of the school time, at the end of, once they choose what to do, their career, etc. And it's an international network of chapters in more than 35 countries. EW Israel started fairly late. It started in 2008 and was officially established in 2010. And basically, we have the similar idea of working with communities on one end and providing the students and the professionals, volunteers, those paths to do something different with their skills. And we currently have 6 chapters around Israel. We have 1 here in Tel Aviv University, 2 in Hebrew University, 1 in Jerusalem, and 1 in Rehovot in the agriculture faculty. And then there is the oldest chapter in the Technion, and new chapters starting in Ben-Gurion University and Afeka College. So we are spreading around slowly. We hold an holistic approach, basically says, we need to take economics, environment, technology, education, empowerment, innovation, all of those ingredients, mix them together with culture and heritage, and bring them as resources to communities to help them grow themselves. Okay, so it's not about philanthropy. It's not about throwing a solution out there and forget about them and run to the next community. It's about working with the communities, with small communities, one community at a time. Someone asked on how we decide how to innovate, the needs in the field, what the community feels and decide that they need most. So this is where the needs are coming from, nothing top down, but everything grassroots. Working together with those communities to build the plan, to raise the money, to build the solutions so they are locally made, sustainable, and it takes time. Okay, so it's a very slow, what we call slow organization, based on students, based on very slow diffusion, so it's successful and sustainable and stays in the communities, building their knowledge and skills as well. So what I will do, I will give you a few examples of projects that we do so you can see the connection to innovations, to education, what the students get, what the community get, and then I will talk about why we do it at the end and open for questions. So a few examples. I don't have the time to go through each one of them. I will start here with the Tel Aviv University chapter that is working since it started in 2011 as a chapter here at the university. They are working in Tanzania on project that is ongoing with the community. The first part was about rain harvesting, so how to bring clean water to the school there, so the kids that get there can drink and actually can function in the school. It's now moving into a second stage where they install solar energy system in the local medical clinic, so they can operate a refrigerator and they can have some medical procedures, etc., that requires electricity. This is a very slow project that took a long time to develop with the community, to get the money for. The students were engaged from day 0 in raising all the money using different approaches. And if it's crowdfunding, and if it's going to corporations to get money, and if it's getting to different non-profit organizations and philanthropy, mix of resources. The students do everything. They do the connection with the community. They come with the solutions together with the community. They raise the money. They design the system. They travel. They do it. They come back. They do PR to what to do. They think about the next stage of the project. And it's a very interesting process to see how they grow. And students change, people graduate, new people are coming. It's a very nice, as you see it over time, it's really nice to see how it progress. Someone here, Lisa mentioned before about other markets, right? Everyone wants to innovate for California, but really the needs are in Africa. We also think that the needs are in every local country that the chapters work. So we also do work here in Israel, not just abroad. This is an example for what we call the Makers project of the Hebrew University chapters. They basically work with in-risk young youth that are in a special school when they are about to drop from the system. This is like their last chance before dropping out from the educational system. And they do sustainable technology education with them in small groups. They develop all kinds of systems For example, solar cookers. Last week they started the second year. They all cooked banana chocolate pancake on the solar cookers. They had, students coming and walking in 3-4 students per group with an instructor. And this is the summary of the first year that they did. So basically 15 students from the university were involved in that project. They built up 5 units, educational units, on how to build different systems together with how to get the technology out there, to actually build it. So a full educational kit, for teachers also to later use. They taught over 20 classes on those 5 different units, and 30 students from the school participated in this. So very local, very small, but very impactful. Those kids, it's very impactful. They see that they can do something, that they can learn new things, that they can produce something, that they have other opportunities than just dropping the ball and get out of the system. Another example is our project from the Rehovot chapter in Ethiopia, putting a farm, educational farm in Ethiopia, trying to understand how they can increase the yield and create a new center for technology in agriculture innovation and scale it up. So they're working there for 3 years now, and with a big impact and big emphasis on science and technology while doing the agriculture innovation work. So to combine this educational and practical food security issues, they establish an internship program, so students from the different chapters can go there for a few months and actually work in the farm and teach the technologies, etc. It's all taking time to build. This was built from zero. 3 years ago, there was nothing. Today, it's the kind of like a leadership, a really leadership example with a flagship project in moving into relationship with the Ethiopian government with this type of projects. Ministries from Ethiopia are supposed to come to visit here to learn. It became a much bigger project than we actually started it. I want to finish with the last example from the Technion, which is more going back into the educational part. In the Technion, they were actually able to start courses, summer courses, that take these sustainable development principles that we believe in, actually put it into an academic course that involves both time in class and time in the field. They did 2 sessions in Israel, then 1 in Nepal, and last summer in Ethiopia with international students, all working engineering students, doing this type of community work, and they get academic credit for that, and at the same time helping the students that want to be involved in this type of activities to learn the basic principles and actually apply them. So very hands-on academic approach. I want to take the last few minutes I have to talk about, so why are we doing all of that and what do we benefit? So first, we believe in learning by doing. So, when I was a long time ago a student at the Technion, they said, even a donkey, can sit in the Technion for 4 years and at the end get a degree. You might do 10 times every test, whatever, but you can get a degree without getting out of class, without holding one hammer or one, electric wire in your hand, and you will get a degree in engineering. What about hands-on experience? And that's what we are trying to provide here. So this really learning by doing, hands-on approach, and not only on the technical part, not just how to design the solar system if I'm an electrical engineer student, but how to raise the money, how to pitch for the project, how to connect with the community, understand the needs, their hierarchies, how they make decisions so I can really be impactful in the community, etc. So everything that incorporates training, follow-up, moving the knowledge back to the people. So all of that the students are engaged with. We do have a component of integrating research, so we could use some of those as beta sites for new technologies, water cleaning water, all kind of sustainable technologies, small-scale technologies are sometimes integrated, and that's the best because then faculty members can really be engaged and help the students with those projects, and at the same time get the research benefit and data that they want. We see long-term impact on the volunteers of the organization. They actually say, we changed our plans. We thought we will sit in a huge engineering company in a cubic and we'll never see the light, and now all we want to do is to do a community walk and apply, this technology. So really changing the way you think about what you want to do And for us, it's the most important thing. And I also want to touch on one more point that usually we don't think about, but it's really facilitating university relationship with industry. You know, as being a student in UC Santa Barbara, heading the chapter there for 3 years, the dean, the president of the, no one will talk with us when we approach them for funding. But then donors started to say, we want to donate to Engineers Without Borders in your university, so they do project X. And that's like, ooh, maybe we should start thinking about listening to those guys. And this is how it brought more and more, you know, industry relation, donors relations to the university. And of course, no one say no to this type of, I think, cooperation these days. I want to just finish with saying there is Engineers Without Borders in India. I personally know the guy that ran it is also on the international board. They are very active. I don't know in all areas, which areas. I think there is a room for everyone to explore this. And maybe, you know, in the future, there is a lot of collaboration between different chapters in different countries. So hopefully EWB Israel and EW India can do some joint projects through the universities that have chapters or other avenues. So thank you for your time, and I open it for questions.